Hello folks, welcome back. I know you've been waiting for this episode, so we're back on Freddie Dobbs Bonneville, as is now usual. If any of you saw the short, you'll have seen that I started getting the harness together for the rectifier upgrade. Now, as many have alluded to, this is the MOSFET upgrade. It's a Shindajun FH020, and this is a Triumph supplied part. I've got stator wiring in here, connected into the original connector from the stator, which comes out the engine here, and then I've got my positive and ground comes in through under here, drops into this nice MIDI fuse holder for the positive, then through and down the other side. I've then brought it into this harness here and onto the back of the start solenoid, and then the start solenoid is the feed cable direct from the battery, and then the negative side comes underneath this nice little bracket I've made, comes onto the frame here. Now you might be asking why I've done it onto the start solenoid. The reason for that is I don't like a lot of things stacked up on the battery terminals. It should be a relatively permanent install, which it now is, and there's no issues connecting there or direct to the battery. It's just less stuff stacked up. So I've got that mounted up. Got the tank back on, obviously loose at the moment. I'm just proving out the concept. I've got it connected to TuneEcu. What I have just done is adjust the resting point for the throttle position sensor. So it's really straightforward. You just undo this lock screw which holds the throttle position sensor relative to the spindle on the butterflies in the throttle bodies, and you undo it and then turn it. You see that is the wrong direction. It needs to be 0.6 volts. So we just turn it back 0.67, 0.61, 0.59, and it should just creep up as you tighten it up. A little bit fiddly to get it spot on. Too far. Then lock it up. Doesn't need to be mega tight. There we go. So the next step, you see it, we've got no fault codes reading. We have got barometric pressure sensor is reading again. That's happy. This is corrected. So I'm now going to do the adaptation reset, which is in test area. So we just double click on this. Says, are you sure you want to do it? Yes, I want to do it. So the reset of the adaptions is that simple. What I'm then going to do is wheel this out. Ordinarily I'd start it in here, connected to TuneEcu, and watch for the TPS light. But given how rich this has been running, I don't know how it's going to start, and we're also still not 100% on that cam timing. I don't really want to run it in this enclosed space. So I'm going to wheel it out. We start it, we run it for 5 minutes on the cold start without touching the throttle. Once we've had it running like that for a few minutes, when we think it's warm enough to take the cold start plunger off, knock that in, we let it run for 12 minutes or so, thereabouts. We key off, we key back on and let those adaptions store, and that should be the adaptions reset. Once we've done that, or while we're doing that should I say, I will do a voltage reading on the charging system, and we'll see if we've got any improvement there from running the MOSFET rectifier compared to the voltage we were seeing previously. Okay, let's see whether this is going to work. So one thing, if you're ever going to leave a Bonneville on idle for an extended period of time, don't do it on the side stand, because you can run the oil pump gear, one side of it dry. Let's get that out of the way, he's okay there. Right, so ignition on, we'll start plunger out and let's see if she'll start. We've got a bit of gallop to it. See what it'll do. So I'm going to put it on its side stand briefly. I'm going to check this voltage. So hopefully that stays in there. And you can see with the new Schindergen rectifier in place, 14.4 volts. There we go, happy. We're about halfway into the adaptions now, about 7 minutes. I'm going to do this for about 15 minutes. Just keep the bike upright, make sure we don't have any drying out of that oil pump gear, but we're completely off the cold start now. It's still got a bit of a gallop to it, but it's sounding a lot sweeter than it did when it turned up here. So hopefully we're getting towards a fix. Still not convinced by that cam timing, but this seems to be improving. You can hear the oscillation going on in terms of the level and of RPM and what have you. That is just the ECU doing the adaptation process, so let's see what happens. There we are, the charging circuit is 100% fixed. I'm well happy with that. Just need to finalise a few little bits on the bike. After doing the adaptions, it is running way better than it has the whole time it's been here. So I'm very happy with, you know, the barometric pressure sensor replacement, map sensor pipes. We've done the throttle position reset. So yeah, it's much improved, but it's still not quite right, and it's niggling me. This cam timing the whole way through, that's just bugged me. That's the only bit that's been apart. So the next thing we're going to do, I've got to get this tank back off. We're going to get it on the bike lift, pull the cam cover, pull the generator cover, and yeah, dig into it and hopefully find some sort of error, large or small. While we're doing that, there's a whole bunch of other mechanical issues and things that I want to check into. Freddie has told me the headstock bearings have never been serviced, so I'm thinking 42,000 miles in, it's probably due to at least have a look in there and see how bad it is. So we're going to do that. So that'll be the whole front end off, the wheels out, grease the spindles, just make sure they're nice and free and floating. Same with the swing arm pivot. Couple of the bits that we've got on the shelf to replace, and yeah, generally go through that whole list I did in the very first video. So all that'll be tied into this, as well as the cam timing, and then we'll get it all back together. Hopefully we'll be up and running. We'll have found that golden issue to fix, and then yeah, that'll be job done. If not, back to the drawing board. So it's Sunday morning, it's the day the video is supposed to be coming out, and curiosity has got the better of me. I was going to end it there, but I thought, before I start taking this bike apart and look at the cam timing, one thing I haven't done is check the balance of the throttle bodies. So we're going to connect up to TuneEcu now, get the bike running and see where we're at. So it should be within 10 HPA across both cylinders. So we'll get it running, see how bad it is, and then do the adjustment if needed, and then we'll see how it's running. Then we'll start taking the bike apart. So yet again on cold start, it was way rich. But hopefully you can see from the screen recording interesting. Very interesting. Now that is a big find. Obviously it is running slightly imbalanced. It's about 10 HPA out on steady state, but we can't correct that until we have actually got it running as it should be, or as best as it can be. That air leak, so what I was doing, just to kind of describe it, the brake cleaner I was spraying in against this joint here, so you can see you've got the throttle body, then you have these rubber spigots that they mount onto, then these are the map sensor pipes that I fixed, so that's all good and sorted. I was spraying into this joint here, and you could see like just a little bit of drawdown, and obviously you can hear how badly the engine bogs down. So I'm highly suspicious there's O-rings in here, and obviously this has been apart, so whether this O-ring has been pinched when it's been put back in, or whether the old O-rings have been reused, but either way around, it's got to come apart. Now I am still going to check the cam timing while I've got it apart, but I think we're really close to solving the issues with this particular bike. So we're going to blow it apart, check the cam timing. I'm going to get new O-rings for these ordered anyway, so that'll be the airbox out, throttle body's back out. We're going to do a full disassembly and just go over it and just make sure it is 100%. That is that for this video. Thank you for joining me. Everybody that's subscribed, click like, all the good stuff. It's just overwhelming, and the comment section is fantastic. The input you guys are having is making a huge difference to the decisions that we're making collectively on the direction to go with this, and you've pointed me at things I hadn't considered, so I really appreciate it. Please keep it coming, because if you see anything in a video that I don't happen to have caught up on yet, it makes a big difference and it saves me a lot of time. So yeah, the next video I'm gonna get the tank off, we'll start taking this all apart, and yeah, see what we find in here.